Well, now since it's time to drive home, I want to do one of these where I sit and talk and drive. Now, here's something I've been noticing. Welcome to Seth Leroy Hustle Adventures. I've been noticing a lot of people, when they get into this, I don't think realize the hustle, the uncomfortability. I love it. I love being on the adventure. I love being on the road. I love sleeping in my van. I love it all. I do. I'm a gypsy soul. Now, I do it differently too than a lot of people because I could make more money. That's what's funny is when some people, because people will be like, I'm willing to go everywhere on the planet of Earth. And then they get into it and then they're just like, I want to go 200 miles from my house. And it's like, I don't understand. Because if you did want to go all over the place and you had free will and you have no kids or things tying you down, like I have kids, but that's why I do it only 4 or 5 days max, no matter what I make, and that's my cutoff. That's why it blows my mind, because people will say, oh, well, you know, I'm willing to drive everywhere. I still advise people to buy your vehicle outright. If you hate your job, save up that money and buy your vehicle outright so you have no overhead. Like if you hated your job, wouldn't you save up a couple of years to buy your van outright? That's just my opinion, I understand. But if you are someone who is a single guy, and that's the thing, I'm putting this out there, I want more younger people to get into this because I have my CDL, but I love the less DOT regulations. But now see, if you were willing to drive absolutely everywhere with a payment, it wouldn't be a big deal. Now see, that's what I'm saying is like, if you're getting into this, you actually imagine being on the road. I would do it, dude, if I was a single guy, I'd be fishing in all these, I'd have a fishing license in every state. That would be my days off. I'd take a day off to fish, and then I'd get back on the road in the morning. Now I say all the time, this is a business where you're not going to get rich, you're going to get freedom, you're going to get, but you can make some damn good money if you wanted to go crazy hustling. Like I say, if you were a single guy, shit like that. Now, the reason I bring this up is I've been on TikTok a lot more lately too, because I got into it. I noticed there's so many people that are like, hey man, no money. And I'm like, okay. That's what's weird is I was making $1,200 easy, and when taxes happened, taxes went great, nothing went weird. But the reason I'm bringing that up is just that you can make good money doing this. Like I only go out 4 to 5 days. After day one and two, I'm not willing to go like super far. I'm always open to like 700-800 miles. That's the thing too. A lot of guys will be like, oh, I'm open. And then they get into it and then they're just like 200 miles. I want to go 50 miles away from my house only, and I'll be like, and then when it fails, they're like, I don't know what happened. Me and Joe were talking about, you have to make the money to keep it going. Like if you start off where you just lease a vehicle and that's it, you have to keep working to keep building that gas money up and everything, and to make the payments and keep going and going. So what I'm sort of getting at too is getting into this, like doing it the way I do it. I'm not going to get rich, and I'm comfortable with that. My freedom is what I like. No boss, I'm the boss. No ego in that. I just like not feeling like, oh, I showed up at 4:30, are you impressed? I was sick of that, and I was a good worker, so I wanted to start making money for myself. I don't care how much that is. So, and my voice is going away right now, so sorry, bear with me. But why people get into it and not think that it's going to be a hustle? And as you develop relationships with brokers and dispatching services, I found my own loads on my own with brokers, first couple of them. But that's what I'm saying. The reason I'm saying that is like, you expand, you grow. I learned in the wintertime I make a lot more money. I was making $1,200 easy in 3 days. Now next year I'm staying out all 4 or 5 days like I do now, and I'm gonna make more money. So that's what I mean. You adapt and you grow in the industry too, just like a job. But instead of a job, to me, I love that I can just work for myself. That's why I know I stress it, but if I was a single dude, I'd live here. I would live in my van. I would have no rent. I would have no fucking rent. I wouldn't. I would get it all decked out, because I don't have it decked out, but I'd have AC, heater, all of that. I only know of one person who did that where they actually lived in it a couple years. And they said it was amazing, one of the craziest times in their life. And that's what I mean too, like, if you wanted to do it that way too, oh my gosh, dude, what an interesting journey. Even if it was just a couple years, save up, get another van for your fleet, maybe buy a van outfit then too. I don't know, there are a lot of options. And then there is the dispatching side. My wife dispatched for a little bit, but it was too much. She does hairstyling on Saturdays. She's a hairstylist. And then too, we got the 4 kids when I'm gone, so it was just too much. There's a lot of money to be made in this industry, but it depends on if your freedom and being your own boss is worth it. I think a lot of people just think it's glamorous to be your own boss, and they're like, oh, I want to start a business. And it is fun, I love it. But when it comes to the grind and the hard stuff, they're like, I didn't, you know, they'll say they wanted it, but then when it's like, hey, drive 17 hours to Tennessee, like I just did, and then I drove to Iowa the next day, no comment on what I had to do that. But that's what I'm saying, like, those are the things to be successful. And you don't have to do that a lot, it's, you know, but some weeks that's what I have to do. So yeah, this has been quite the adventure this week. $1,100 so far. Might get another one. I had another load pop up on my Empire load board. I just keep that as backup in case I gotta get home or for cheap. It's crazy what they have on there. You can bid too, but I haven't used it yet. I almost clicked one the other day just to do it, but you know, but it's a good backup. It's an Empire load board. I don't know if you can see that. It's the one with the crown on it. But anyways, yeah, so like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to. If you don't want to, I'm gonna rest this voice. And everyone have a blessed day, and oh yeah, keep hustling.